Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon, Abunda Bezita, good afternoon, the queens of the land, good afternoon, good afternoon, the royals, the loyal people who watches this channel called the royals. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon to queens and kings of this land. Good afternoon to ladies and gentlemen. Inside South Africa, outside South Africa, my name is Mngoni Mkhonto, and you are in the Royal Opinion. This is Royal Opinion. Waiting for some people to join. You can click the like button and subscribe. Today we are talking about the progress that Africa has made so far to liberate itself from slavery, imperialism, and colonialism. The progress that Africa have made so far, whether there's any progress or there's actually nothing to be proud about, it's what I want us to have a look, but with a special look at the Sahel region, the Sahel states. I want to share a video. I want to share this video, and then after this video, I'll actually I want us to have a discussion about what is happening here, what is happening in Africa, what is happening in all in most regions of Africa. I want us to talk about what is happening in most regions of Africa at the moment. The regions that are colonized by French, the regions that are colonized by the English colonies, what is happening in the English colonies, but now we're looking at what's happening in French colonies. The progress that Africa has made to liberate itself from the colonial chain. Let me share a video.
From the AES comrades, members of the different governments of the AES, dear participants present at this first summit, heads of state of the AES, good morning. It is an immense pleasure and an honor to meet today on a blessed date, a memorable date of July 6, 2024 here in Niamey. Before anything else, let us give thanks to God who has allowed this day to be. We thank Him for everything He has been able to do for us until today, and everything He will do for the people of the AES. Allow me also to pay tribute to the people of Niger. These people who have suffered so much since the advent of the CNSP, and who continue to stand. Thank you to the Nigerians who gave us a warm welcome yesterday when we set foot on the soil of our homeland here.
Vous êtes plus que des amis.
You are more than friends,
plus que des
you are more
voisins.
than neighbors, you are our
Vous êtes nos
brothers,
frères,
you
vous
are
êtes
our
nos sœurs.
sisters,
Parce que la
because
fraternité
brotherhood goes
va
beyond
au-delà
friendship or
de
neighborliness.
l'amitié ou du voisinage. Nous avons le même sang qui coule dans nos
We have
veines.
the same blood flowing in our veins.
Dans nos veines,
In our
coule le
veins
sang
flows
de
the
ces
blood of
vaillants
these
guerriers
valiant warriors who
qui ont
fought and who
combattu
reserved
et qui
these
ont
lands that
préservé
we
ces
call
terres
Mali,
que nous appelons
Burkina and
Mali,
Niger.
Burkina et Niger. Dans nos veines,
In our veins
coule le
flows the
sang de
blood
ces
of those
vaillants
valiant
guerriers
warriors who helped the
qui ont
whole
aidé le
world get
monde
rid of
entier
Nazism
à
and
se
many other
débarrasser du
scourges.
nazisme et de beaucoup d'autres fléaux. Dans nos veines,
In our veins
coule le
flows the
sang
blood of those valiant.
This is President Traore speaking at the summit of the Sahel state, actually at the inaugural summit of the Sahel state in Niamey. Where look at the body language of the people, how the people of Niger loves him, visiting President Abdullah Rahim Mani Tiani, President Ibrahim Traore, with the alliance, Mali alliance, Asim Goita of Mali, President Asim Goita of Mali, forming an alliance, alliance of the Sahel state. This is the speech that Ibrahim Traore, President Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso, has made at this alliance. So I want us to follow closely at what is happening.
Warriors who were deported from Africa to Europe, America, Asia and other
vers
places,
l'Europe,
and who helped build
l'Amérique,
these
l'Asie
states
ou Dieu
during
sait où
slavery.
encore, et qui ont contribué à construire ces États pendant l'esclavage. Dans nos veines coule le sang
In our veins
d'hommes
flows the
dignes,
blood of worthy
d'hommes
men and
justes,
women of the
d'hommes
AES.
debout. Et pour cela, soyons-en fiers et soyez remerciés d'être ressortissants de l'AES. L'Afrique,
Africa, this continent has suffered so much and continues to suffer because of the
du fait des
imperialists.
impérialistes. Ces impérialistes n'ont
These
qu'un seul
imperialists
cliché en
have
tête.
only one cliché in mind,
L'Afrique
that
est
Africa is the
l'empire
empire
des
of
esclaves.
slaves.
C'est comme ça
This
qu'ils
is
voient
how they
l'Afrique.
see Africa.
Pour eux,
For them,
les Africains
Africans
les
belong
appartiennent.
to them,
Nos terres les
our
appartiennent.
lands belong to them,
Nos sous-sols
our
les
subsoils
appartiennent.
belong to them.
Ils n'ont
They
jamais
have
pu
never been
changer de
able to
position
change their mentality
jusqu'aujourd'hui.
up to today.
C'est déplorable.
It is deplorable.
Mais comment procède-t-il?
But how does it proceed?
C'est
It is
malheureusement
unfortunately
depuis
ongoing since the
ces années
60s,
60,
when the
où ces
simulacra of
simulacres
independence were given to
d'indépendance ont
Africa.
été donnés à l'Afrique. Ils n'ont juste fait que
They
placer
just
des
placed
valeurs
local
locaux à
servants
la
at the head of their
tête, selon
sub-prefecture
eux, de leur
according to them,
sous-préfecture,
to be able to continue
pour
to feed
pouvoir
them.
continuer à les alimenter. Ces valeurs locaux que nous
These
allons
local
qualifier
vassals that we
aujourd'hui
will qualify today as living room
salons
slaves have no other reference point than to seek to live like the master, to satisfy the master, and to do everything that the master dictates.
The living room slave that he's talking about is the African president who are sell out. He calls them living room slaves. The presidents, the black people who are selling out their own black people, the living room slaves. Those are the people who are making it possible for the imperialists to be able to stand to have leg in Africa. In in the British colonies, this is we've got 3 liberated zones in Africa, and all these liberated zones are in the French colonies. One is Mali, where President Assim Goita has taken power through military force, and in Niger, where President Tiane has taken power through military force, and in Burkina Faso, it's all French colonies which have liberated themselves. In the British colonies, Kenya wanted to be the first one to be liberated from colonialism and imperialism. The Gen Zs are striking. They have been in protest for the past month, but they are not able to make any progress. They can't. They won't be able to remove President Ruto. like we won't like in South Africa they won't be able to remove President Ramaphosa because he's an imperial uh, force is put by the imperialists there. You won't be able to remove him. It will take war for anybody to remove Ramaphosa. It will take a serious war for anybody to remove Ramaphosa or to remove Ruto for that matter. In in the British colonies, Britain, though, is in shambles because in all the colonies there are protests against colonialism, there are protests against slavery, there are protests against apartheid in all the colonies under Britain. All the British colonies are now mostly, if not all, of the British colonies are now up in arms. There's protest in Kenya, there's protest in Uganda, protest in Nigeria, protest in South Africa as well, protest in many Gambia, in many areas or many zones where the British are the colonies. People are rising against colonialism. Is slavery going to win, or imperialism is going to win, or the people will win? Uh, Only God will tell. Let's continue to listen to what Ibrahim Traore is saying here.
Tates.
Comme le maître, à satisfaire le maître et à faire ce que le maître lui dicte. Il vole, il
He
pille le
steals, he pinches from the states, brings everything to the master, and their wealth is kept at the master's safe.
Ils font
They
tout
do
pour
everything to
vivre
live like the
comme le maître
master and always satisfy him.
Parce que le maître commande,
The
c'est
master
exécuté.
orders, they execute.
Savez-vous
Do
qui
you know
sont
who
ces
these
esclaves
living
de
room
salon?
slaves are?
Eh bien, nous allons
Well,
vous
we will
expliquer ce que
explain
c'est.
to you what they are.
Ce sont des individus
They are individuals who have no
qui
dignity,
n'ont aucune dignité, qui n'ont aucune
who have no
morale,
morals,
qui n'ont
who have no
aucune personnalité.
personality, but the slave master has always known how to identify these
Le
individuals.
maître esclave a toujours su identifier ces individus. Ils sont toujours prêts
They're
à trahir
always
leurs
ready
frères
to betray their
pour
brothers to
satisfaire le
satisfy
maître.
the master.
Ils nous ont trahis depuis
They have
l'indépendance
betrayed us since
et continuent
independence, and others
jusqu'aujourd'hui à nous
continue to
trahir au
betray us
nom de
to
leur
this day
maître.
for the benefit of their master.
If you listen carefully, you would swear he's talking about President Ramaphosa, President Ruto. All they fit perfectly in the description of these individuals that is talking about President Ibrahim Traore, the leader of the Free Zone in Burkina Faso, which has liberated itself from the French colony. They have decided, because they have taken arms to free themselves from the French colonies, from France colonialism and imperialism. They've chased out the armies of the imperialists from their countries. They've decided to form an army alliance. Before, it was an army alliance before, only uh, uh, because when they decided to take over their countries through arms, the imperialists gathered these forces in the form of ECOWAS, promising to take arms and fight against the people of Burkina Faso, taking over their country. But the three statesmen said an attack on one country is an attack on the three. They will stand together in the armies against any invader, whether outside or inside invader. They will stand together to fight whosoever has invaded their countries. Let's continue to share the view.
These individuals continue against all odds to plunder Africa. They help bastard to plunder Africa.
They do.
They like to say every year in their economic survey that Burkina is the poorest country, Mali is the poorest country, Niger is the poorest country. We are ranked among the last. Very well, if we're as poor as they say, but when the time came to take responsibilities, we asked these masters to leave the place. Why do they want to leave?
So this alliance of the Sahel state, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, three countries that are combining their forces. Now, on the 26th of July, of June, they have met to actually form an economic alliance, to start an economic alliance. They've allowed their people now to move across these countries without passports or visas requirements. And they are forming an economic alliance now because they are forming a currency which they will call a Sahel, which they want to use in the three countries. I heard that two more countries are set to join the ECOWAS, to withdraw from the ECOWAS to join the three Sahel states. Already the French colony has lost three of its. These are the only people who are free in Africa. Three of the French colonies are free. Burkina Faso has liberated itself once in 1983. Yes, under the leadership of Thomas Sankara, Burkina Faso was once a free zone, but it did not last. The imperialists came after 3 years and killed Thomas Sankara and put back their puppet. Are we gonna see the same happening in Niger? We're gonna see the same happening in Mali or Burkina Faso. Is he gonna be able to defeat us again and come back? But now the challenge is the people. The people are raising. It's no more the average people in this country. No more just elite individuals who are rising against colonialism, who are rising against slavery. It's almost every tired of imperialism. So this formation of this Sahel state is very important progress in the liberation of Africa. Uh, being applauded by the Nigerians there being applauded by the Nigerians free. They look like they could vote him to become a president. I suppose these three countries are going to unite and become one. They are using same currency and their people are allowed to move across. The only thing that is needed to be done now is political issues, is to address political issues of um, people living together. But in the English colonies, British colonies, we haven't made any progress. Kenya is still suffering. People are being massacred as we speak by the imperialists in Kenya. People are being massacred in Uganda as we speak. Children are being killed there. Uh, those who are rising against the system, people are just being massacred in every area where they are rising. The imperial forces are very strong in Africa. So so far in the British colonies, there's no progress. We are still too much, so much under the Queen. The Queen is still on our neck.
Mais lorsque nous avons décidé ainsi,
But when we decided so,
eh
well,
bien, nous
we
avons
were
été
approached by
approchés
some living room slaves to pass on
par
the message
certains
of their
esclaves de
masters,
savants pour nous passer le message de leur maître. Parce qu'ils avaient créé
because they had
cette sorte
created
de
this kind
chaîne
of polymer
polaire
chain that rises at the head of our
qui se
states to
relève à
serve
la
them.
tête de nos
But we
États
came to break the chain,
pour les
and it is
servir.
inconceivable for them.
Et nous sommes venus briser la chaîne. Et c'est inconcevable pour eux. Ils nous ont donc approchés
So they approached us and
et
asked
nous ont
us to
demandé
join
de
the
rentrer
ranks
dans
to
les
be
rangs
part of the elite that must lead
pour faire
Africa,
partir de
because they have a
l'élite
trained and formatted elite who
qui
you
doit
must
diriger
follow,
l'Afrique.
and who
Parce
are
qu'ils
embedded
ont
in
une
this chain.
élite formée et formatée qui doivent suivre, qui sont incrustés. Dans cette chaîne-là. Nous avons refusé
We
d'entrer dans
refused
leur
to
rang.
join their ranks, and from
Et dès
then on
lors,
hostilities began.
les hostilités ont commencé. Et ils ont fait fourvoyer dans nos zones
And they led several mercenaries,
plusieurs
trainers,
mercenaires de
and agents into our
formation,
areas,
des agents
who
sont
went down to the
descendus dans le
Sahel hoping
Sahel
to carry out
pour
cowardly
espérer mener
barbaric
des attaques
attacks against our
barbares, lâches
populations,
contre nos
hoping to
populations,
incite
espérer les
rebels.
révolter. En plus de ces attaques sur le
In
terrain,
addition to these attacks on the ground,
les attaques
communication
communicationnelles, la
attacks,
manipulation, la
manipulation, and
désinformation
disinformation are
battent
in
son
full
plein
swing in
dans
their
leurs rangs.
souls.
Mais les peuples du Sahel
But the
ont
people of the
compris
Sahel have
et plus
understood, and
jamais
never again
par
will
le
we be able to be swayed.
ils savent ce qu'ils font,
They know
ils
what they are
savent où
doing,
ils
and they
partent.
know where they are going.
Nous n'allons plus permettre cela.
We are not going to
Les
allow
gens
this
sont
anymore.
éveillés,
People are
les gens se
awake and
battent
people are fighting
aujourd'hui,
today,
pas
not
pour
for
nous-mêmes,
ourselves,
mais pour
but
les
for
générations à
generations to
venir.
come.
This is very important progress. President Traore talking at the Alliance of the Sahel State. Very important progress. Liberated zones in Africa. Only 3 French colonies have been liberated so far. We were hoping that Senegal was going to be liberated as well and form part of the Sahel state. We haven't got there because it looks like in Senegal they've also put their puppet. But in these 3 zones that we need to really support is the only countries in the French colonies which has liberated themselves, moving away from the ECOWAS, which was formed by the imperialists to control the resources of the Sahel states, uh, to control the resources of the Western African countries, uh, exiting from that kind of arrangement where uh, the only influence is the master. Abdullah Salisu Abdullah am I getting it? Salisu, yeah, Abdullah Salisu. Yeah, I'm getting it right there. Thank you for joining, Abdullah. Thank you for joining, Abdullah. Thank you for being part, for forming part. Tell us where you're watching us from, Abdullah. My name is Mgonim Konto, and this is the Royal Opinion. I'm in South Africa. Uh, Today we're talking about the zones of Africa that are actually liberated from colonial rule and from imperialism. The once liberated zone of Burkina Faso and two more edition, the Mali and the Niger region, having been added in the zones that are liberated from colonialism and imperialism. The young people taking up arms and defeating the the French armies, taking over the country, uh, uh, and governing their own affairs, chasing away the imperial masters and their troops and everything that stands about them, chasing them out. Click the like button and subscribe. The British colonies, Britain being cruel, Britain being cruel with its colonies, killing people in Kenya. Uh, Lots of people have been killed in Kenya, to tell the truth. People have been killed in Kenya, and lots of people have been killed in Kenya. The British armies have no mercy on people. The British, in their colonies, they have set up armies and police force to protect their interests. So whoever tried to rise against the British in all these British colonies, these armies will make sure that they subdue any, because they are very powerful. They are built to be able to protect the imperialists. British and the Americans being the most cruel, who doesn't care about life. In all the British colonies, there's not even a single zone which is liberated so far. Where all the British zones are still under imperialism. There are protests that are going on in Kenya, which more people have been massacred in Kenya. The young people who are rising against slavery and imperialism in Kenya have been massacred and are getting massacred. The young people under Museveni in Uganda have been suppressed, some massacred in Uganda. Nigeria, young people in Nigeria as well. Same stories across the British colonies. We need to report about these things, and we need to talk about it, whether they like it or not. We have to talk about it so that Africans can be enlightened. Africans should know that all of Africa is still under colonialism. All of it, not even one. It's actually only these three places that we've mentioned here: Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. These are the only liberated zones from colonial masters and colonial rule. The rest of Africa is still under the mud of colonialism, under the mud of imperialism, under the mud of apartheid and slavery. The British colonies, they have no mercy on people. When you try to rise, they kill. It should be said that this is what they do to subverge anything that comes against.
Et merci à tous pour le
And
combat
thank
que
you
vous
all
menez.
for the fight that is being fought.
Cela ne nous fait jamais pleurer.
It never makes us cry. We are not going to tremble. We are going to confront them. We are going to fight for real independence and for our freedom.
Parce que pour faire peur,
Because to scare the people of the AES, these individuals only have three words in their mouths, that is democracy, freedom, human rights.
liberté, droit de l'homme. Bien sûr,
Of course, their local vassals are only elected in a free and transparent democratic process according to them and their values.
libre et transparent selon eux leurs valeurs. Quoi de plus normal?
What could be more normal than wanting to impose this on us?
Parce que c'est
Because they are the ones who make the rules.
Très bien.
We know them very well and we have decided to take
Nous nous
responsibility.
assumer. Voilà pourquoi
Like they are the ones who create the rules for voting. They are the ones who determines who should be where in the voting system. They created the rules so that the rules can favor their people, the ones that they want to put in place in order to suppress the people, the actual people who are fighting the system. They have created this for the sake of. They have created this for the sake of keeping power, for the sake of keeping their colonial project alive in Africa. It has been alive. Colonial project has been alive since the 1600s. Africa has been under colonialism, imperialism, and slavery for the past 500 years almost. There has never been any time where Africa has been liberated. It only happened in Burkina Faso, where in 1983, Thomas Sankara took over and liberated just that zone. And because it was him alone, he was ambushed easily by the French armies to take over again. Now, a lion in the name of Ibrahim Traore has risen in Burkina Faso. A lion in the name of Asim Goita has risen in Mali. A lion in the name of Abdullah Hamar Tian is born in Niger. Those lions have liberated those zones for real from the imperial masters. They have also chased away the armies of the imperial masters, the American armies. Precious Malachi joining us. Thank you for joining. Hope I am not too late for the class. I think you are late. There's already a lot of things that we've spoken about, but it's okay. You can catch up later on. There's a lot of important things that we've actually mentioned. The imperial masters making black people thinking that there's any zone which is liberated, there's any part of Africa which is liberated, talking about colonialism as if colonialism has ended, and talking about imperialism as if it has already ended, while it is well alive and a project which is happening very strongly in African countries, happening very strongly in the life of the African people, being sabotaged. Let me continue to share the video and we'll continue with the discussion.
This is why on the 26th of July 2023, When Niger decided to turn the page, the parlor slaves and their masters got on their high horses.
Les esclaves de salon et leurs maîtres sont montés sur les grands chevaux. Ils ont mis leurs valets locaux en avant.
They put their local valets forward and decided to wage war against the people of Niger.
Nous avons donc dit,
So we said that whoever dares to attack Niger, we will face him,
nous aura en face. Parce que nous menons
because we will wage a
une guerre
merciless
sans
war
merci
until the last drop
jusqu'à la
of blood for
dernière
whoever
personne.
dares to attack our states.
Quiconque osera s'attaquer à nos États. Cette parole
This
President Traore saying we will fight until the last drop of our blood to fight any invader in Mali, to fight any invader in Niger or in Burkina Faso. If they want to confront us, they should know that we're going to fight for any zone to be liberated in Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, young people, kings and queens of the land, you have to be ready to fight. You have to be ready to talk like what is talking there, Ibrahim Traore. Otherwise, there will not never be any liberation for Africans. Liberation will never happen for Africans until Africans are ready to fight and physically die for their freedom. If they are not ready to do that, attainment of freedom will never happen from this imperialist and bloodthirsty system which is ruling over black people, ruling over the lives of innocent black people who doesn't know what is happening about the system and how are they stealing and killing the countries. Let us celebrate uh, the liberated zones, Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso. Let us celebrate the lions who have liberated these zones. Let us celebrate the bravery that goes with this kind of attitude.
word, this
cette
decision that we
décision
had
que nous avons
yesterday is
eue
relevant
hier
today and will be
est
relevant tomorrow and
d'actualité
forever.
aujourd'hui et sera d'actualité demain et pour toujours. Ainsi,
Thus was born the AES on the 16th of September 2023, in an architecture
dans
of
une
mutual
architecture de
defense.
défense mutuelle. Mais nous avons jugé
But
nécessaire
we deemed it necessary to extend and
prolonger,
expand the architecture of the
donc
AES.
l'architecture de l'AES. Ce qui nous rassemble aujourd'hui
What brings us together today must allow us to move into other areas in addition to defense, including finance and the economy, infrastructure, health, education and so on.
l'éducation, bref, j'en passe. Je souhaite donc que ces
I
moments
there-
States working together in infrastructure, meaning roads, meaning traveling, trains, meaning health, meaning hospitals, access to mobile clinics. They work together because they are actually same country. Basically, they're just same countries. They are just divided into three, so that the imperial masters can rule over with ease. Ibrahim Traore saying we can't limit ourselves to cooperation of the armies only. What what uh, what actually keeps us together is more important. So we need to continue in other areas of life and other areas of our people, like transportation infrastructure, like health infrastructure, uh, those cooperation that would make basically these countries becomes actually one state. They've actually aligned to become one in terms of monetary. They want to produce same currency which will be called the Sahel, which is a serious threat to ECOWAS, which is the puppet of the colonial masters. The currency which will be established called the Sahel in Burkina Faso, and I guess it's going to be backed by gold because these African states have gold. They can back their currency using gold. I guess they are going to be one of those countries who are going to back their currencies, so that it has more value, backing it by gold. These are the only three zones which are liberated in Africa. The rest are under colonial rule. The rest are still under, it's either the French rule or English or the Portuguese colonial masters. The rest of Africa zones are still. That's why, like, we have to give the right kind of diagnosis and the right kind of report, not to lie to people that Africa has been liberated from colonialism in the 60s. That is a clear lie. Africa has never been free from colonialism. Africa has never been free from slavery. Africa has never been free from imperialism. Africa has never been free from apartheid. So we need to give the right kind of diagnosis and talk to people who can listen, so that they can know that this is what is actually happening in Africa. We are all under their colonial rule. The colonial masters are the ones who are controlling our lives and our resources. I want to thank Abdullah Salisu for joining and Precious Malachi for actually participating, for joining this live session and for participating as well, and everybody else who participated. My name is Mngoni Mkonto. This is the Royal Opinion, where we talk about politics in Africa, and not only politics. We talk about progressive things about Africans, basically. Things that means progress in Africa. That's what we talk about most of the time in this platform. Click the like button and subscribe if you love such kind of content, so that next time you'll get a notification. Click the bell notification in your, if you are watching from a phone, double tap the screen. If you are watching from a computer, just click the like button. Thank you very much. We will end this live stream. Thank you for joining us.